Good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam. I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Within 5 minutes, we'll start the session, sir.
Okay.
Good morning, dear participants. Thank you for attending STTP for the fifth day. Our Sanskriti group of institution, academic dean, dear Balakoteshwari madam, will introduce today's resource person.
A very good morning to all. Sanskriti School of Engineering Puttaparthi is presenting AICTE sponsored online 1 week short-term training program STTP Series 4. We are on day 5 of the program, and this is organized by Department of Computer Sciences Engineering. And the title of the series is Role of Artificial Intelligence in Engineering Applications. Today we are fortunate to have Dr. C. Devraj Verma. He is head and associate professor in computer science engineering, Jain University, Bangalore. He is going to deliver a talk today on Introduction to Natural Language Processing and its applications. Sir is a qualified in NET and KLCT. He is associated as a lifetime member of professional bodies like ISTE, IACSIT, and IAET. He has obtained his PhD degree in the area of artificial intelligence. His PhD work is towards building the computational model for diversity of mind. He applied the theory of mind to detect the malicious node using the cognitive model. His area of interest includes cognitive science, image processing, IoT, and machine learning in the area of artificial intelligence. He is the principal agriculture using IoT. He has published more than 20 research papers in various international and national conferences and journals. He is a reviewer of the book titled Artificial Intelligence and Theory of Applications. It is a 600-page odd book, very interesting book, and which is published by Wiley India Private Limited in 2019. We are fortunate that Dr. Devraj sir has agreed to be with us and to deliver the session for today. Sir, we welcome you, Dr. Devraj sir.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Thanks. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thanks for giving a wonderful introduction. Today we are, madam, you have to stop the screen sharing. Yes. Yeah, good morning, one and all. Present here. First of all, I would like to thanks for management and department team members for providing me an opportunity for inviting me and for delivering a talk on introduction to natural language processing and its applications. Yeah, the objectives of the today's session is first we'll classify the AI techniques, but will introduce or give a glimpse of different aspects of natural language processing and introduce some of the problems or areas or issues related to the natural language processing and what are the approaches to overcome those issues and understand the process of natural language processing. As I think from the past 5 days, session is going on, and everyone now has become a very familiar with what is an AI. AI is nothing but designing a machine which is going to behave like a human. Therefore, we are how to build a machine which is going to just as when I say computer system is merely a box. Until unless we train or teach the machine, it won't do any task for us. Therefore, as per to the requirement of the user, one has to train the machine so that it can behave as per to the requirements of the end users. And this was the first term that has been coined by the Joan McCarthy in 1956 at Dartmouth Conference and it in England at Dartmouth College itself. Therefore, the McCarthy, along with other domain experts who have been attending that conference in 1956, long ago at England, nobody knows how what is an intelligent. Therefore, he is the first person who has keen need towards designing a machine which behave like a human, which can behave like produce an intelligent behavior in the sense which is similar to the human capabilities. Therefore, in that conference, this is the one first term has been coined by the John McCarthy. He has argued with several conference participants who are participating in that conference. And finally, at the end of the day, everyone agreed that machines can also behave like an intelligent behaviors. Therefore, what are the some of the aspects here or activities one can do when the AI has been designed? Those activities include understanding who is the person, whose voice it is. Therefore, we are adding such an intelligent behavior to the machine that it can identify the right kind of a person who is going to speak. Therefore, it can recognize the speech of any person. For that, the learning has to be inculcated into that. And you want to recognize, the machine has to recognize anything. Either it may be a book, maybe there, or it may be an image, maybe there, it may be some photographs, maybe there, voice of a person. Therefore, the inputs can be anything. Therefore, it may be a textual input or a speech processing input or an image-based input. Then whenever the input has been given to the machine has to recognize this is a particular voice signals of so and so person, because we can train the machine using hundreds or thousands of samples. Therefore, later that another important component that is required is the learning. And learning is nothing but where it starts. And I think already in the earlier sessions we have seen so many machine learning algorithms are there. Therefore, based on the input data that has been received, the machine has to learn the important features of the input what it has received from the input devices or in turn whatever may be an input. Then plan accordingly what has to be achieved, what is a goal or a target that has to be achieved. We have to plan to reach that goal. Therefore, the planning is a very important step. Without the planning, if you do any task, then at the end of the particular task, the results may not be fruitful. Therefore, the step, even in a normal task, nothing goes in a smooth manner. If you won't plan the activities in a daily life also, then somewhere in the middle or at the end, what happens? The results will not be fruitful. Then what are the approaches? How do you solve them so that finally we can reach the target or a goal here? Therefore, these are the important aspects, or I can say activities associated with any of the intelligent behavior one has to consider during the plan of an action. Yeah, just what is an AI? I think already I mentioned just now that is it is nothing but adding the intelligent behavior to the machines or computer systems, so that it can have the ability to think and respond like a human. Therefore, we are going to add an intelligent behavior to the machine. It is going to respond like a human. Therefore, in order to exhibit this very important exhibit. The intelligent behavior and interpret the machines are going to think and act like a humans. The famous Alan Turing test has been conducted by the Alan Turing. What does that Alan Turing? According to him, the machine is in one room, I can say, as well as the person is in another room. Okay. Okay, I cannot write, I think here. Okay, the machine is in one room. There is a two person. The person is asking. One is an interrogator who is going to ask the person, and a person is in another room, as well as a computer system is in another room. Let us say as there are two rooms, room one and room two. In room one there is a computer, as well as in room two there is a person. Then in the another room, say let us say as a room 3, there is an interrogator. Therefore, interrogator is a person who is going to ask several questions. Either he is going to ask the questions to, he don't know to whom he is going to ask the questions. Just he will pose his query. The query will be routed to the person or in a room 1 or a computer in a room 2. He doesn't know. Just sitting in a room 3, he is passing the questions, and whatever to his questions or queries, all the answers will be responded by the machine itself. Therefore, he is not knowing that whether it is a machine is responded or the person sitting in another room, room 1 is responded. Therefore, finally, the Alan Turing has proved that because the third person who is in the room 3, the interrogator, he is put under an illusion that always the person is going to respond, but actually the machine which is in the another room, that is a room 2, is responding to the queries of the interrogator in the room 3. This is a text based. See how the text natural language application, where we are going to give the input query is in the form of a natural language, and the results of the query is considered by the machine. So it is processing the it is it is processing the natural language text data which is given by the interrogator, and it has been processed by the machine. We are not going in detail about how the machine learning part is going to be taken in that text mining process. Therefore, finally, what happened at the end, what the conclusion has been drawn by the Alan Turing in that conference. He has also proved this, that the main goal of an artificial intelligence is to develop such machines where the intelligent decision task can be performed based on the past experiences. Therefore, the experience, whatever is their input data, it starts learning. The learning machine learning algorithms comes into a play here, because only the machine learns from the past experience, then only it can predict what could be a future experience. Future predictions can be drawn from the past past premises or past experiences, I can say. Therefore, that is a very important thing here. Whenever a person or anyone has to design a machine that can exhibit intelligent behavior and does the intelligent tasks, and therefore takes the intelligent decisions, always it is based upon the human past experiences only. Therefore, the machine will also read the past experiences. Based on the past experiences, it is going to apply the machine learning algorithms, and finally it will conclude what could be the future experiences of the person or the machine. For what is an NLP? It is ability, and it is a part of your AI itself. Or the natural language processing is nothing but it is not a separate area or a separate domain. It is a subset, I can say. It is a subset of your AI. It falls within AI only. It is a part of the AI. It is the ability of the computers to analyze, understand, and generate the human language, including a speech. Either it may be a speech based or it may be a text based. We know what is a natural, why the term natural has been coined in this, because normally the people in India, because our society, if you see, it is a multilingual language, because multiple languages have been spoken in our India, because compared to the other countries, our India is having several different types of native languages, where the people communicate with each other every day in order to complete their tasks. Because without a natural language, the people do not have a communication. Everyone doesn't know to speak about the either it may be a Rashtriya Bhasha, Hindi may be there, or English may be there. Because there are several different kinds of people in the so our Indian societies. They, because most of them are deprived from the education, they do not know well about the English language or any other languages also. They are familiar with their own native languages. With the help of those native languages, the people will communicate with each other, and they can perform their tasks at the end of the day. Therefore, that is the reason why the language processing has to be done here. It will help, it will provide a great help even to the society when the two peoples are communicating in their own native languages. If there is a language processor or a system in between the two persons, the communication becomes quite easier. Let us take the telephonic exchange, a telephone communication between two persons, A and B. A is at some other state, let us say he is in a place at Delhi, he knows only about Hindi. Then B is another person who is in the Bangalore, he knows only about the Kannada language. Then in that case, how the two people, A and B, communicate with B, person who is in Bangalore. Then he talks continuously, is going to talk over a phone in his own language, that is what I say as Hindi. Then automatic translators should be supported in mobile devices, so that it is going to translate the language
आपने
which
बनाया
is
था क्या
spoken by the
इंग्लिश की
person A into the language that is Kannada. That is a Kannada which is understood by the person B in another city. Therefore, if we have such language processing devices
ठीक है क्या
built in into a mobile device, then automatic translators will provide a great benefit to the society, where the two people can communicate with each other. Now, another area, therefore, the main task, how the computer has to be devised here is it is devised by the people in the society. Finally, it should help the people to understand the communication done by the other end person in their own native languages. Therefore, it is one of the difficult and challenging tasks. Another area where we can use this NLP is retrieving structured and unstructured data within an organization. You take an organization itself. Within some organization or an institute, you want to structure or an unstructured data will be there. How you are going to retrieve the important information from that organization? In restricting instead of to the organization itself, one organization, think over 100 or a millions, I can say as a trillions of data is available over an entire organization. A lot of unstructured data is available. Therefore, you want to retrieve something which is there on the internet or a web, I can say. In that case, the information has to be retrieved. How the information has to be retrieved? For that, the Google search engines, for example, where you are going to give you the textual data as an input, and it is going to search that textual data, you give a big sentence, big say as a one say a 5-word sentence. If you do, it is going to break that 5-word sentences into a individual words. Then the individual words will be searched, and whatever the documents related to those individual words, all the documents will be searched, and it will be it will be displayed on the page itself. Therefore, this is where the information retrieval, that is the maximum information retrieval can be done in any form, either it may be a structured or an unstructured data. Structured data, if you go for retrieving the data from your standard databases, that is RDBMS, a relational database management tool, there also you have to retrieve the data. If the structured data is there, then writing the queries in the structured language will become easier. But in case of an unstructured, because most concentration has to be given to the unstructured data, where the data we don't know in what form or format it is there. Therefore, we have to retrieve the data from that such a unstructured data which is there. You want to retrieve the information from that. Therefore, whether we are getting all the times the useful information itself. Suppose if you are being given a query of 4 to 5 words, but the most relevant information you may be getting at the front of the search next page, and see what are the search results. It may be on the top 50. What you want sometimes may not be there in the top 50 also. Therefore, relevant data has to be retrieved and displayed, has to be displayed. Therefore, for that we can use what is the relevance and the irrelevance data. How to judge that it is a relevance based on what context you are going to retrieve the data. For that, you can use natural language processing here. And thus nowadays, even in our medical, that is medical records or a patient record data, that is huge amount of medical record or a medical patient information will be there. This is an example of a structured data, where we can also devise an expert system which is going to provide an understanding what symptoms of the patient is there. That symptoms can be fed as an input to the particular system, expert system, and it is going to give you the answer that is the based on this symptom. These are the prescriptions or medicines has to be given that particular patient like that. Therefore, the expert systems where there is an interface. The interface again, it is nothing but it is a natural language. It is not normal natural language where we are going to give an input as in our English text input it is. Therefore, that is an example for medical records. Then even opinion mining. What opinion are nothing but it is a sentiment analysis where we can apply the NLP things techniques here. Tracking the mood of the person when they buy any product. Then and there itself, Amazon maybe there, Flipkart maybe there, any of those websites where you are going to purchase items. For that particular item, the feedback can also be provided here. But for all those feedbacks which are being collected from the users, those feedbacks can be analyzed whether the particular product is a good or a bad. It helps, see how it helps to the particular product manufacturer when the people are going to give the feedback or about that product over it may be an Amazon website, maybe there, or any other social media websites also. Not only the people will give the opinions nowadays only on that particular feedbacks of put us feedback on several other social medias also. Therefore, collecting data from a different social media websites as well as the feedbacks which are given on the particular websites such as on Amazon. Then in that case, what is happening? All the information, whatever been you have been taking from those social media and the websites, you need to judge the particular product can be manufactured in future or not. If most of the people have been given a reviews bad, it is not a good product. Someone says, okay, it is not so good, it is bad. Okay, all right, we can use like this. Such some text-based feedback has been given for that particular product. Then we can use that particular of NLP techniques. They can be gives you the how many what you call as in how many are the positive feedbacks of that particular product. If more is the if the number of feedbacks are more are the positive feedbacks, then we can recommend. See, a recommendation can be given based on the feedback. Again, the next step is recommender system you can design. Therefore, where we can recommend that particular product manufacturing to the company, saying that oh, so and so product from your company is very much liked by the people in the society, and its production can be increased because per day these many people are going to visit that particular product. And the purchase rate on the social medias as well as on the so many what can say Amazon or any other Flipkart like that. That can be recommended to the manufacturer or a company, saying that kindly increase your product per day should be it should be increased by 100 extra more products should be produced by your company because the demand in the market is more for your product like that. The feedback what you collected, what the see analysis what you have done, based on the analysis you are recommending the things, whether the company has to continue its production or it has to stop. If no one is a bad review on that particular product, or if no one is satisfied with which processor, you have done certain analysis on the data and recommend to the company can take or not that recommendation, but we can provide a recommendation to the company stating that the particular product sale will go down in the next another 2 to 3 days. Kindly don't manufacture your products because this is analysis that has been done, and these are the reports associated with that particular product. Either you can stop the manufacturing the product, or something additional can be given along with the product so that it will attract to the people in the society. Okay, if you buy hair oil plus one shampoo is free like that. If you can price accordingly, so that increase to in order to increase the product sales of that particular product. Therefore, this is where we can use NLP techniques for opinion mining. Based on the opinions, the recommendations can be given to the manufacturers. Then next, yeah, what is the machine learning? We have seen that this is a very important thing. What does machine learning? Always it learns the things from a past experiences or past things, and follows the instructions based on the past experiences in order to predict the outcome of the outcomes. Or I can say you can do the predictions. What can be done? Next thing is whatever the data is there, whatever the things are there, the past experiences should be trained to the machine. Then only the machine learning algorithms or techniques can be applied here, because the text mining and the machine learning, because these are all the part of an artificial intelligence only. I can say even a machine learning is also a subset of subset of your AI, as well as an NLP is a subset of an AI. Just as we have seen in the previous example or an application, you want to recommend something, therefore you want to recommend the product for a particular manufacturer, whether you want to increase the production of this product or not. A can be recommended to some other person P also. Why? Because so many people have been buying this product, and along with what you are buying, this product is also good. Like this, I think all the recommendations are also provided nowadays. Uh, Therefore, in order to do all those things, the learning of the previous learning experience has to be improved. That is our machine learning algorithms will support, I can say, in doing those future predictions, as well as whatever the upcoming intelligent decisions can be done based upon this particular specific environmental conditions of that particular product, so that whether to improve the productivity of those products or not. Yeah, again, these are the things about the ML and what we call as AI, as well as natural language processing. and just to have a glimpse of what is a natural language processing, it is nothing but it is a language which is going to process the normal language what the people in the Goa society are going to communicate with each other. Therefore, thing what we have seen here is language processing is nothing but building a system that can understand the human language. In one line, if you want to say what is an NLP means, we can see that it is nothing but building a system that can understand like a human language here. Uh, Yeah. Here there is a top trends of the AI. Just I'll show you one this video. You'll come to know about what are the most important. No, it is not opening. I think it's slow. I think this audio is. Audible. This is. I think I'm not forgetting. Of AI. What we are seeing in this video is nothing but some of the top 10 AI applications where it can be used here. Even we have seen there is a small robot that can help the people when entering into some restaurant. So guide to the person entering. There is a small robot which takes speech-based input from that person, and it is going to a reception is there, which office, whom to meet for booking a particular room in that hotel, like that. Robot, small robot, which is going to take the text-based, speech-based input from the other person, and it is guiding the person at that particular restaurant. As well as our so many other 10 top 10 applications of AI-based systems we can see in that video. The main part is, I think, that AI. Now, final term, what does AI means? It is building the systems that can add an intelligent behavior to the machine. Therefore, what are these NLP, artificial intelligence? Therefore, when you take an NLP and AI, these together build that system. You see, I cannot have only NLP alone, as well as I cannot have only ML here. Therefore, your NLP, the language processing, even a machine learning, learner, or I can say as an ML designer who is going to design our systems, who is understanding, analyzing the data also. The data scientists, they are using the several machine learning algorithms will go hand in hand. They are not as separate things here. Therefore, whenever you want to build a system that can learn how to understand the language processing, in that case, we require both. That is NLP as well as machine learning. Without the one, only NLP cannot understand the language processing, or I can say language people are going to speak in the society. Therefore, in order to interpret that as well as understand and generate the target language again, for that the machine Uh, therefore, a lot of work has been done in ML because of the intelligent behavior. It requires a considerable knowledge where the learning will become we can say as it becomes a knowledge here for your machine learning techniques, so that the intelligent behavior can be exhibited by the particular machine. Okay, processing, it is nothing but because of its vast demand of applications, the NLP is playing a very important role here. As I mentioned, there is a huge amount of data on the internet, and mostly the unstructured data is there, which is the billions, trillions of web pages are there on the internet, and you want to process that data, large amount of textual data, I can say. For that, we require an NLP expertise here. Say, let us say there is a huge to take a certain data. I want to classify that data based on some categorical labels here. Suppose I want to find out all the steps related to the NLP or a natural language processing itself on the internet. Therefore, I have to classify on the internet. I am having some other things also which is an irrelevant to the category of natural language processing. Therefore, I will try to find out. I will use this indexing and searching the corresponding text, you can say, over an internet. Going to use these NLP techniques. Already it is there in the earlier days also, but now it is becoming a more buzzword, NLP and its applications, because they are also coming into play in other industrial applications also. Therefore, indexing, that's what I want to search over a Google using so much famous search engines, let us say as a Google or some other Yahoo search engine, maybe there. I want to search all the data related to the natural language processing. Text itself is my you can start indexing the pages. All the pages can be given a indexing or a ranking. Google page ranking algorithm, as everyone knows, it starts ranking the pages which are related to the NLP itself. Therefore, the page with a higher ranking will appear first or in the top on the search results. This is how the page ranking algorithm or indexing search techniques can be adopted by your search engines to search that particular category of words. See, natural language processing. There are things which are natural is one word, or I can say language is another word, processing is another word. It is going to divide this particular sentence, I can say, natural language processing, into a individual words, natural plus language plus processing. Then it is searching over an internet, and all the relevant things which may be, see, when it takes only natural, you may get some natural things also which are not related to a language and processing. Therefore, it should combine the search which are relevant. First, all the things which are related to the natural put together, language put together, processing put together, then it will be rated with a ranked higher, and they will be appearing in the front top web page links, like that. Then automatic translator, as I mentioned, that is an automatic translator where a person talks in one language and it should be automatically translated to another language. That is nothing but a automatic translator, or it may be a text-based input may be there. If you do an English text, it should be automatically translated into the English language. There are language translators which are going to automatically translate the language which is written in one text. That is foremost from this thing is text to text translators. Well, we have already this, as well as text to speech translator also is there, where it takes the text as an input as well as gives the output as a speech here. So, similarly, if you taken a speech and it can be translated to the text also, understanding the speech conversations. First thing is, in order to translate the speech to a text, speech to a text, the text need to be converted into the speech of the target language here. Then, another important application, even in extracting the information, that is useful information from the resumes. Nowadays, for HR resource management, there are several resumes, thousands of resumes will be coming to the institute. Then, in that case, we can segregate based on their expertise in the resume, what they have mentioned, and based on the experience or certifications they have mentioned. We can extract only the resumes, I can say, which are containing only these keywords. Therefore, you can extract such data, I can say, from thousands of resumes. You can extract only those resumes which are very relevant for the particular department or an organization. Next comes a very important thing, that is an automatic summarization. Suppose you want to buy a book here. Whether this particular book, if you go for an NLP or a natural language processing, it will automatically summarize the book. What is a good? How to go about purchasing that particular book written by so and so author. You can have automatic summarization, I can say, of the entire textbook itself. Say the book may be of 1,000 pages. My automatic summarization tool, what has been designed, it should automatically summarize the contents of that textbook, entire 1,000-page textbook, and it should give me one paragraph summary of that particular book. What is the content, what is the objective, what is the purpose, what are the themes. When I give the entire textbook as an input to that automatic summarization tool, the tool itself is going to provide me a summary of the entire 1,000-page book in a paragraph or in a one page. That's all. Therefore, then just reading that summary, if there is a summary of that particular book is available with you, then you can make the decision that whether to purchase that particular book or not. Because just instead of glancing over all the particular summary of that book itself, one page which is given by the automatic summarization tool, and you can go ahead with the purchase decision of that book. Similarly, there may be Maybe people who may be interested in watching the movies also see whether this is a good movie, horror movie, what is it, depending upon a type of a movie, what type of a movie. After going and seeing the movie, then you'll continue. Before that, if there is an automatic summarization of that movie, 3 hours movie you give as an input summarization tool. Therefore, it should handle 3 hours movie. It should it should give you what type of, whether it is in a romantic movie or a horror movie, thriller movie, like this, something summarize of that story also. Then the person, based on the summary of that particular review of that movie, can be and can take a decision whether he has to watch that movie or not, I can say. Therefore, the knowledge particular textbook. See, because so much contents is there in that 1,000-page textbook. Therefore, what is the important knowledge that has to be extracted from that book, and it should be represented in the machine. In some format, it has to be represented. And finally, the short paragraphs or text can be generated, or dialects can be generated. Therefore, those whatever the has to be represented, whatever the knowledge gained from that 1,000-page textbook, because not all 1,000 page, every page you may have a certain important concept about that particular chapter. Then dig that, go on mining. The text mining should be generated, so that you go on digging the mine the text in that particular 1,000-page textbook. Finally, you will get important information which is required here. You will generate some other knowledge about that. In another way is saying the text generation is whatever it has been there in the database, about 1,000 page textbook it is represented. You want to generate the information from that particular text-based information. Then what is a natural language? Now, if you come to the definition, what you call as formal languages, such as C, C++, Java. What is the difference between NLP and our formal languages? The most formal languages are very syntactic. They are syntactically strong, I can say. That is, for example, let us take a print statement in some of the programming languages, and while doing in a C or C++, if you miss a semicolon, there is a miss of semicolon at the end of that particular print statement. Because these formal languages are an artificial languages, such as C, C++, Java, COBOL, Pascal, etc., etc. All these languages are so they are they are having a they are very bind, I can say, closely. They are closely related to the syntactic structure. Syntax has to be followed very strictly. Even if one small dot cannot be mixed. Says it is a syntax error is missing. It says this is an undefined rule, like that. So therefore, we are going to get we need to follow the strict rules and regulations of that particular formal languages. Whereas when it comes to our when it comes to our natural language, there is no such thing, that no such strict syntax is there. Even if I tell that, even there may be a slight understand, whereas it is not in the case of the machine, because the machine has to understand. Your formal languages are nothing, but a machine is going to understand. Your compiler or an interpreter or an assembler has to understand that. Therefore, the syntax, as per to the strict rules, syntax rules, what you are written in a compiler, those rules has to be followed while you writing your program sets or program instructions. Whereas in a natural language, it is not like that. Mistake in framing the sentence or talking to another person also, that will be easily understood by that person, and it is accepted also. It is not an error there. For example, if we say that Tom goes to school, this is one thing. Yes, this is understood. It is a right. Okay, as per to your English language, parts of speech constraints, if you take, there may be a not properly written. But when it comes to the go to school is similar to the Tom goes to school only. They actually go to school there instead of go, there should be a goes here. Therefore, even though there is a go and goes, it is understood. It is the meaning is clearly understood by the person. Therefore, it will be accepted. That is the main difference between our your language, language, natural language, grammar rules, as well as your more languages. Finally, you see, what is this? Some words are like K, J, M, F, F. If I ask someone here, I'll call some child or a kid or some person in the society and ask, okay, tell what is this? These are the 4 lines or 5 lines what we have written here. The 5 lines, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines are there. What is the meaning of this? Even I think most of the people who are in the participants also, if you see this, whether you could understand this, no, most of them will not understand, because you are not trained from your childhood by such a language. If you see here, why natural language processing, and after that from 6th line, look at the above sentences. Okay, this you can understand because from the childhood, meanings also, you know. If I tell what is the meaning of the first line, okay, you can identify this is K, J, M, F, F, because you're trained from the childhood each of these English letters. K, J is, this is K, this is J, this is M, and this is M, M, V, like that. But you cannot interpret. That is the main thing, is interpretation of that. What to you, because it is a lack of I can say as a knowledge about that particular word. This may be some word which can be understood by some people, which is written in some tribal language, so and so, let us say some tribal language, and there is some person who has been trained in that tribal language from his childhood, then he can understand. Then why you cannot understand? Because it has been trained in that way from the childhood. It has been learned in that way from the childhood. That is from the childhood, he knows about this particular tribal language, and he knows what does these words in that tribal language will tell us. Therefore, it is similar to telling that putting the Hindi, to communicating in Hindi with some other person who doesn't know Hindi. He cannot understand the yeah. Communicating with a person who knows Hindi, who doesn't know the Hindi, you are communicating with a Hindi language. Then what is happening? The person is not knowing Hindi, and you go on communicating in Hindi with that particular person, then he won't understand anything, because from the childhood he has not been taught about, he has not spoken in a Hindi only, and his mind has not been trained about that language only. He is having a lack of the knowledge of that particular language. Therefore, that is the important thing that has to be taught to that particular person in order to understand. You train him, you take him for 6 months and train on Hindi. See, after the 7th month, first day onwards, he will start telling you what is what you will communicate in Hindi. Therefore, unless we teach them, computer is merely, I can say, as a box. Therefore, it should have a fast communication knowledge, understand, it should have the understand the knowledge. People should have no trouble in understanding the knowledge. It only comes when he is having the knowledge about, common sense knowledge about the particular language. If he doesn't have the knowledge or trained knowledge about that particular language, then it becomes difficult to understand, reason about that language. Therefore, it is very important thing that has to be taught to that particular person. taught from the childhood and he is not familiar with that particular language Hindi from a childhood also, then due to the lack of that language, he may not understand, he may not reason that particular language, and because of the common sense, because of the lack of knowledge here. Even when he tries to understand in the past whether the past experience is there all in the about that language or not. Therefore, it is important train the machine with that particular language. If you train, automatically is having a knowledge about that particular, even machine learning algorithms will do this. Who will do means the machine learning algorithms will train the knowledge about that particular Hindi language to a person. Then automatically over a period of 6 months time, he will be well trained all the language words of the Hindi. Reasoning. See, so many things are there already trained in his brain. Therefore, he starts reasoning about those word what you have been asked on the 7th month first day itself. Therefore, it is a past experience which is counting for the answering you the meaning of that particular word what you've been asked on the first day of the 7th month. I can say. Therefore, unless we teach or train the machines, niching, I can say. Therefore, these are the important applications. Most you can see whatever super been discussed. All the things we can put into categories like this. One part can be an information retrieval, where the most important and relevant data has to be retrieved. And another thing is, I can say, as a machine translation, translating language text, or it may be a speech may be there. Translator will translate the speech or voice in signals in one language to another language, where two people want to communicate in two different languages. The language translator plays an important role. I think already these applications are available: speech to speech translators and text to speech translators. Text to is a semantic language analysis, that is a semantics for a meaning, because you want to know, because the first thing is you want to analyze the meaning of particular word, just as discussed with an example where you are talking to a person who doesn't know Hindi. Then in that case the meanings cannot be interpreted and understood and interpreted by that particular person. Therefore the language analysis, the semantics or a meaning has to be analyzed the Hindi language, then the semantic analysis will become easier. Therefore, the semantic analysis, for that knowledge should be there. If there is no knowledge about that domain, or I can say as in general, I can put in a simple words, knowledge about the domain is there, then only I can understand something in that domain. No knowledge about the domain, then to understand something in that domain will become everything what we are going to talk are put together when in a sentences, they are syntactically correct. The syntax of the English statement is correct or not. See, I may tell that when you have been trained a person with a Hindi language, if you put some one sentence for him, whether the sentence has been properly framed, well formed, because every India is a multilingual society where the people are going to talk with the different languages. When they are each and every language is having its own grammar, because it has been generated from the grammar. Everyone knows that. Therefore, the grammar is example for our English statements. What we are going to talk, speech, that is nouns, when to use a noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, etc. So on, when to use an article, when to use a article, the article. See, this is nothing but parts of speech. Based on this parts of speech, which is governing the rules and regulation of the English language, how to write down the sentences. Therefore, the parsing will help us how to see whether the whatever the not interpret the different meaning here. when you parse a tree, parse some sentences in the language, those whatever you have done, the textual analytics or parsing done on that particular sentence, it should give you some meaning in that particular context only. It should not give us some other meaning in a some other context, with a different meaning in a different context. Therefore, in general, what could be an input to your input output of an NLP? The most thing is always the input is a speech, or it can be a text, and similarly, the output can be a speech or a text. These are the important things. The important AI technology which helps in communicating the people, I can say communicating instead of telling with the people in the society, I can say as I am communicating with the machine itself or a system itself, but in an intelligent manner using a natural language, language normally spoken by the help of my own natural language, I can say. How the people, how the normal people are going to communicate with the machines. Normally, the people will communicate with the machines in their native language only. Therefore, we need to devise, I can say, as a machine or a system where the people in the society can, they are having, they, can communicate with Hindi like that language. They should be able to communicate with their own natural language as opposed to our artificial languages. Therefore, we need to devise such a robotic machine may be there or some other expert, clinical expert system, what we discussed. You can give input, talk to the machines in your own language only. Suppose if we deploy a robot, someone comes there and asks that particular robot about how to go to this place in this direction, because he cannot use Google to search where to go, because he doesn't know, he's not familiar with the Google Maps, let us say. There are still people, such people are there. When you take to the taluk levels or village levels, they may not be using the internet also facilities. Provide help in the direction, you can say, about the places. Then we can have a robot, I can say, which is at that particular locality place. You can put a robot and train the robot about all the places in that particular locality. And then if any person in that locality asks the native language itself, you can go in this direction. It will take you to your destination or a goal like that. And therefore, normally the input and output is always in the form of a text or it can be a speech here. That what are the components here? The two main components. What based on the understanding of the definitions, there are two important language generation. Therefore, understanding, see, if you take one person, understanding involves here how to represent in some internal representation. Say Hindi is one language, a person is talking, and Kannada is a target language, the other person can understand. See, the two people doesn't know about this. He doesn't know about is talking in a Hindi. Therefore, that should be internally represented in your system in some internal representation, or I can say some useful internal representations. Therefore, one should know about grammatical rules and regulations of that particular language. I cannot design a language directly. I cannot represent the things in the machine directly. You need to represent represented in a machine as per to the parts of speech and rules and regulations of the grammar rules governed by that particular language. Therefore, whatever the grammar rules of that language are there, you have to take care of that and represent that particular sentences spoken by that person in the in an internal representation. Therefore, for representation, the words are there need to be broken down into individual tokens, and that is individual words, and individual words and their meaning can be represented in some representation in the machine, so that the syntax and the semantics of that particular meaning is not changed. The same, using the same syntax and the semantics, whatever you represent language internal representation. First is translate internal representations, then whatever those extract that internal representation and represent, they generate another language, that is a Kannada. Therefore, understanding is nothing but internal representation in some format, and generation is in another format. Here you are having some internal representation of your Hindi language, representation which can be understood by the person who is understanding the Kannada. Therefore, that representation has to be generated. Therefore, internally, the mapping has to be done between two internal representations. Extract the information which is in a Hindi internal representation to the Kannada internal representation. Then you generate the Kannada meaningful phrases and and give the output as a meaningful Kannada sentence. See now how it is happening here. Therefore, understanding is one part, whereas generation of the language in a target language is another part. Therefore, these are the two main components of natural language processing. Then when it compares here, NLU and see, understanding is a very difficult. Is talking in a Hindi and another person understands only Kannada. If I am having in between some other person who can translate that Hindi to Kannada, then it is very easier. But understanding becomes a difficult here when it compares to the generating. He will generate just because if you don't know the person, the third person who understanding and can understand only in our Kannada language, then the intermediate person, if he knows both the languages, see, he should know both. That is our internal representation, I can say. That is the internal representation where the intermediate person knows, he is having the knowledge, I can say, knowledge about both the languages, that is Hindi as well. It has become easier because already from a childhood, so many years he has been trained in both the languages from childhood. Therefore, he will easily translate the Hindi sentences spoken by one person into a Kannada language sentences. That will be very easy for him. But if you try to use your machine, again, that internal representation should extract the equivalent words of your target language and combine those words and form a sentence. See how much it is happening. Generation is an easier, but understanding and understanding is very difficult. It is harder task here. Therefore, I think what I one is text planning here, sentence planning, text realization, correct? Therefore, knowledge base, from a knowledge base, what are the relevant words you need to pick up? Combine those words, I can say, to form a meaningful phrases or a sentences of the tone. Then after that, that sentence, whatever it has been mapped into a sentence structure. Again, it is whatever you, whether it is a proper sentence or not here. Okay, sometimes we combine the sentences, but the result of that, even though it may be syntactically correct, but the meaning may be interpreted in a different way also. Therefore, this syntactically, when you combine all the structures, it's the words of the sentences to form a and that is a text realization. So these are the things that need to be taken care. Three things when you are generating the language in some other language, I can say. Then what are the difficulties we are going to face processing or a unit. It is very ambiguous. There are different levels of ambiguity. One is at a lexical ambiguity as well as syntax level ambiguity and referential level ambiguity. Therefore, at a primitive level, lexical level is nothing but a given a sentence. You're breaking the sentence into a different words, I can say. That is take this sentence itself. It is one token, is another token, and at is another token, where is another token, primitive is another token, level is another. Like this, you are dividing these and into tokens. After that, you are doing the what is it? Because we know that lexical ambiguity, you need to analysis level. When you are analyzing lexical analysis level, you are going to, it is a word level, I can say. Each word in language, it may be a noun, pronoun, adverb, adjective, conjunctive, disjunctive, whether it is an exclamatory sentence or an interrogative sentence. Like this, different parts is a noun or a verb. That is nothing but a lexical analysis. But what is ambiguity? Sometimes a word may be represented. There are maybe it may be a noun or a verb. For example, there is a word called as board. If you take this as a board, whether it is a noun or a verb, again a question: how to assign this? This is the ambiguity, because the same word which then based on the context, the entire sentence context you need to take, then whether to be assigned as a noun or a verb, you can decide it. That is the lexical level ambiguity. Then syntax level ambiguity, a sentence can be parsed in a different ways. Suppose if we are having two different parsings, then I can say that it may give you the therefore, what could be a meaning of this? Because it can be parsed in two different ways here. One is, did he use a cap? That is, he lifted the beetle with a red cap. That's a red with here using whether lifting the beetle with a red cap, or the beetle is having a red cap and you lifted that beetle. See, this is the two different interpretations. Analysis or parsing is done. Here you will come to know that there are two different representations for the same sentence. When there are two different representations, it means that there is an ambiguity in that particular sentence. Therefore, such level of ambiguity should be handled in the sometimes if there are in a sentence, there may you take two sentences. Sometimes the previous sentence may have a certain impact on the next sentence also. For example, let us take this as a sentence where Rima went to a Gauri. She said, I am tired. Now who exactly is tired here? She said. Who said this? But she said means who is she now? Whether she is Gauri or she is a Rima. If you put as she is a Rima, Rima said I am tired. Then also okay. If you say she is Gauri, Gauri said Rima went to Gauri. Then Gauri said that I am tired. Therefore, see the she is referring to a wrong referent may be there. Who is she now? Exactly who is now tired, it may not be predict. There is an ambiguity here because the she in the next sentence is depending upon the previous sentence also. Therefore, in that context, such reference should be resolved. So these are some of the ambiguities that occurs understanding. See, you want to understand the natural language, why it is difficult. In the previous line I put last one line, NLU is a harder, natural language understanding is harder than natural language generation. See, if you try to understand these ambiguities, you'll come to know that it is very difficult to represent in some here. You are dividing the words sentence into individual words. Now each word may represent, it may be represent a noun or a pronoun. What is, whether you have to take it a noun or a pronoun, see the context and decide. It's something, it's a technique you have to use and resolve it. Similarly, on a syntax level also, you can have two different interpretations of the same referent here, she, example. Therefore, one input may have many different meanings. Similarly, many inputs may have the same meaning also. This is very difficult to understand because normally what happens, even when we start communicating with some people, yeah, but you may be told in some context or some meaning, but that may different way, he can become an angry on you. Okay, so and so person has told to me like this. It may hurt, but actually your intention is not like that to tell, because it is interpreted by him in a different way. That is a thing. Okay, what are the basic terminologies associated with is nothing but a sound, I can say, letter sound and a pronunciation. As we, I think, say that A says and C says as in cat, I can say. Means every letter is having some sound there. Correct? I cannot say, see, dot and dot, there is a difference. DOT, dot. See, the pronunciation of this, see, dot and go taken, they are different here. There is only a pronunciation of one letter difference is there. Therefore, the letter, if you changes, the meaning is going to change. Dot becomes got becomes dot, it happens. That is phonology is nothing but a sound or letters or pronunciations, which will help how to pronounce those language. Morphology is nothing but it is a small change, I can say, for your meaningful units here. For example, let us take a child in the form of singular. It is a child. When you go to the plural form, it is the children. See, the children is morphological change of the child itself. But see, these morphological changes will have a great impact during the sentence construction, I can say, because these are the primitive meaningful units of the sentences. Therefore, using these units only, you are going to bring a building the structure. Therefore, book and books. Book is a singular, books. Buy a some book X, let us say. It means he buyed a book X. It means only one book he has been buying. Suppose there is a small morphological change. Rama buyed books of X. Then what happens there? Not one book it is more than one book. Therefore, the morphology.
ఇంటికి తప్పించకుండా రెండు రోజులు పోతే అప్పటికి
Okay.
మరీ ఏమిటంటే ఒకసారి ఉంటున్నాను కదా నేను ఆయన టచ్ అయిపోయాడు అప్పుడంటే నేను ఉండాలి కొన్నిసార్లు నేను
Hello. Now, morpheme. What is a morpheme? It is nothing but a primitive unit. Say book is a morpheme. Words to make a sentence, because every sentence is having some syntax of that particular language. When you combine, as I told, when you take all those individual words and combine them to form a sentence, that sentence is having some syntactic structure. That well-defined syntactic structure of the language, whichever may be your language, structure of the language should be maintained, and the meaning of that particular sentence, when you combined, it should be a well defined meaning, I can say. And The pragmatics is nothing but see, the same sentence may represent different meanings in different sentence situations. Therefore, here that sentence always remains the same in every context. Therefore, to understand the meaning of that as well, the pragmatics need to be taken into consideration. What is the pragmatics? Understanding the meaning of the sentence in a different interpretations here, in a different situations or context, how sentence. then universe of discourse or simply a discourse, which is nothing but how to deal with immediately preceding sentence. See, as I already mentioned, that is a earlier example, the previous she refers to Rima or Gauri. Therefore, always there will be an impact immediately on the next sentence. The for that referent here. What is that particular verb is going to represent in the previous sentence? Referent is correct. What this verb is going to refer to refer in the previous sentence noun, whether it is Rima or Gauri. Therefore, that should be interpreted correctly here. It may also wrongly interpreted. Then Gauri may be told that, no, Gauri tells that I am tired, or Rima go to Gauri, then Rima only tells that I am tired. There are two possibilities in that context here. Now, who is tired? That depends. There is a link is there. Therefore, that based on the context, let maybe went to the where to the stadium and she has been played the football, or I can say basketball, and she comes to the Gauri's room. Then you can predict that it is not Gauri. Rima said. You take some other things related to the Rima and Gauri, and then you make a meaning of that particular. What I'm saying is, you should have some more knowledge about the Rima and Gauri. Then only you can predict who is she now. Then that is the word knowledge here. General knowledge about the word, you should have that. These are some of the important terminologies associated with that. And now, what are the issues? The issues still more understanding in a better way. The dog ate my homework. Who did what now? Who did what? If I ask, okay, how the syntax analysis will be done? Okay, the is something, dog is something, ate is something, my homework. Therefore, you can assign the parts of speech in which is. Now, when you tag and see, the finally dog is noun, it is verb, homework is a noun. Okay, the tagging has been done correctly as per to the parts of speech of your English grammar, and it has been accepted. Why? Because 95% has been words have been classified correctly. Therefore, if you pose a query, who did? Who did means the dog did. What the dog has done? It has ate my homework. Correct? It can answer to your query properly now. And another issue is, because in understanding the language, there is some other things need to be taken into consideration. Why the natural language understanding is very, very difficult compared to level, semantics level, understanding so many things. When you take a terminology, all those 5 parameters, at every stage you are having a difficulty here. Therefore, you need to identify the collations. What do you mean by collation? See, mother-in-law. There are different words here. Different words as a three as a separate words. They are having their own meanings, but combined meaning. Suppose in a context that may be a context. Someone will ask, how is your mother-in-law? Then what is this? Mother-in-law is nothing but all the three words are combined together, and it is representing some. In-law, there it is different. Now, what you ate, what you ate today morning? Then I'll tell us hot dog. Hot dog is nothing but some type of a fast food it is. Correct? Therefore, hot and dog, two tokens, two words. These are very different. Hot is some other something meaning. Dog is something meaning. But when you collate. Therefore, while understanding, see why the understanding is different. When I say I ate the hot dog, it is in some fast food hot dog has been ate like that. Okay. Therefore, based on the context, it not only on a one single sentence, it has to have an entire word. Better understand the meaning of those sentences. Right. Therefore, you need to identify what is the subject and the predicate involved in the sentence. For that, the shallow parsing can be used here. What is shallow parsing? It is used to identify the subject and the predicate. The dog chased the bear. Then in this, the dog is a subject and chased is a predicate. It is nothing but a predicate. Who chased? That is, the dog chased the bear. Therefore, you need to identify. Shallow parsing is nothing but identifying. You can use this technique in order to identify the subject from a basic sentence structure in a well-formed manner. Then, okay, consider this passing of this particular sentence here. Let us take this sentence, John loves Mary. As per to this, what is a sentence? A sentence is nothing but it is a noun phrase followed with a verb phrase. Yes. Then what is a noun phrase involved in this particular sentence? John loves Mary. John is a noun phrase and loves Mary is a verb phrase. Again, what is a noun phrase? Noun phrase is a noun here. Therefore, what is this noun? Noun is a John. The context-free grammar. If you ask the context-free grammar for English sentences, what could be a sentence? Yes, S can be a noun phrase followed with a verb phrase. Again, what is a verb phrase? Verb phrase is nothing but it may be a verb or a noun phrase like that. Therefore, if you are written like this and you can see that this loves John, who that is John loves Mary. Yes, that this is a morphological change of love only. Therefore, the machine should understand. It should be intelligent system must understand the meaning of loves, because loves is nothing but it is just a morphological change of the same. What is its root word? Root word is love. Therefore, the meaning of that is interpreted in the same way only. This is how the root word can be captured and you can identify this and use it with the help of a parsing or a parsing. Or this is another example I can say. Sentences. What is a sentence? Normally, sentence may be a noun phrase or a verb phrase. You divide here. You need to identify what is a noun phrase in this sentence and verb phrase in this sentence. Noun phrase is the boy and went to school is a verb phrase. Then again, what is a noun phrase? Maybe it can be an article or a noun. Goes here. This is the and boy. Then what is a verb phrase? It is nothing but a verb or followed with a noun phrase. Then what is the noun phrase? It is to school. Again, to school is a to is a preposition phrase and school is the again what you call as a parsing tree or a syntax tree, whether this particular sentence is syntactically well formed or not. Yes, as per to the grammar rules, it has been well formed. But when the knowledge, what the knowledge should have, suppose in your database or a knowledge, you are having only go. Went is not there in your knowledge base. Now only go is there in your knowledge base. Therefore, the knowledge base or intelligent machine, I can say, should be have the capability in understanding the meaning of go. Go, what is go? Go is nothing but a morphological change of the went only. Correct? Same way, they have the same meaning. Therefore, even though went is not there in your knowledge base, the machine should have the machine should interpret the meaning of went is similar to that of a meaning of go only. Then and it should syntactically it should accept that this particular sentence, the boy went to school, is syntactically rules and regulations of that language, I can say. Then anaphora resolution. What is anaphora? Anaphora is nothing but as I told, referring to the wrong referent. As for example, Rima went to Gauri. She told, "I am tired." Who is I? Who is the referent there? Wrong referent will be there. Therefore, in order to avoid such a wrong reference, we can use an anaphora resolution. Example, another sentence here. See, in order to give anaphora, what is anaphora, and still more understanding. Man in the park with a telescope. What are the interpretations you will get when you seeing this sentence? See, it means that you are seeing, one interpretation can be, I am seeing that particular man in the park. There is a man in the park, and you are seeing that particular man in the park through the telescope. This is one interpretation. The park is having the telescope. The man is there in the park, where the park is containing, park is also having the telescope. The park with the telescope is another thing, another interpretation. The third interpretation may be there. The man is holding the telescope. I saw the man. You are seeing the interpretation. Therefore, see, the interpretation or a meaning are in three different. Therefore, this is another issue here. This is such sentences has to be resolved, and another resolution techniques can be used to resolve the issues involved in such of that because interpretation or semantics will be wrongly determined there. Now you take a plant here. This plant is good. This plant is, what is this plant? What if I say a sentence only? What is this plant? The plant is good. When I'm telling the plant is good, whether this plant as per to your whether this industrial plant, therefore what you have to do, you have to take the certain context. Therefore, in order to get a actual meaning or a semantics of a particular sentence, you have to refer some other nearby sentences also in that particular context, so that plant may refer to some other plant. Wrongly it may refer. Suppose you are talking about the industrial plant, and the meaning may be interpreted as it is normal plant, living organism plant. This plant is a coconut plant, like that. Tree, like the, it may be like this. It is interpreted. Therefore, words are very, very ambiguous. Different meanings. Because of that, ambiguity comes there. Therefore, based on the context where it is being used, you need to translate correctly, extract the information correctly, and resolve the reference correctly. If this is not done, everything goes wrong there. The dictionary meaning of the plant, we see that what is an industrial plant definition. There is some buildings for carrying on industrial labor and manufacturer automobiles. Therefore, whenever these such some key points, other points comes, then I can say that the plant is an industrial plant. For living organism, lack of the power of locomotion, like this, something information is there, it is a plant life, species, flora, like that, then you can say it is a living organism plant, I can say. Therefore, now you take a first sentence here. They are producing about 1,000 automobiles in a new plant. To know, because there is context here, 1,000 automobile. There is some other word I can say in this context. If you see in this the context of this plant in this particular sentence, there is a meaning, a dictionary meaning. You can have a dictionary. It is an industrial plant. Suppose which plant, you can say as an industrial plant, like that. Now you go for a second example. The sea flora consists of 1,000 different plant species. Yes. Now in this case, it is a living organism plant, not an industrial of animals. Now which plant here? It is very close to the farm of animals. Whether it is an industrial plant or it is a living organism plant, then it becomes a difficult here. Therefore, the interpretation of the plant in the third sentence is an issue here. You cannot interpret properly. Some other so that you can get the exact interpretation of the plant. Okay, for that you require some training. Okay, this is a machine learning part. That is where the issues in the semantics or interpreting the meaning of the sentences, you can annotate them what you have taken. Like this, such samples of the sentences, each of the words in the sentences can be labeled. In this context, this plant is an industrial, this plant is a sea plant, this plant is some other plant. Like this, you can label all those samples containing the plant in the previously examples. You can tag them. Some new thing, it should be able to tell whether it is a sea plant or it is an industrial plant. As the training examples you increase, you may get first 60% accuracy. Then as you label more than 1 lakh samples, then the accuracy of identifying the plant as industrial or a sea plant or a living organism plant, it may go to 80% also. Therefore, the accuracy or nothing but a correct way of interpretation depends upon a training or the samples. When you whatever it is a plant, living organism plant like this, it depends on the number of samples. Therefore, over a period of time, we can also improve the accuracy by improving the samples. Therefore, the same thing here, you have to have assume a large amount of plant you want, you can annotate it properly. That is nothing but a normal machine learning algorithms or decision algorithms will do. And so many learning techniques are there: decision trees, memory-based learning, neural network, and so many other techniques are also available. The not annotate test data, so that we can annotate either the particular data is a sea plant or it may be a I can say as an industrial plant. That depends. Now, extracting, what could be an extracting information? So a group of about 8 to 9 people close to the entrance of the highway. If you pose a query, who, it is nothing but 8 to 9 people. Where they are highway 75. Yes, this is very clear. You can extract this, and with this you can also detect the new we can also detect the new patterns also. That is, if you give some other non-classification data, then again pose a query, and the query should extract the information correctly. Information extraction is nothing but whatever the rules correctly, then the extracted information will have the well-formed, I can say as a well-interpreted meaning. Full sentences can be extracted from the knowledge base. Problem with the information extraction. Okay, instead of telling these things, I'll just tell you. Let you take a certain, just this was only one sentence here. And now, if you go over to the internet here, huge query where collection of textual data is there, and that is for you, the based on your relevant query, what you are given here, and may have a different meaning. As I mentioned earlier, only a particular word will have several meanings here. That is called as a polysim. What is a polysim? Each and every word may have more than one meaning. Only plant as a search query in your Google search engine, what it will do, it will searches all the plant species also, living organisms, your normal plants, as well as it is going to give you all the industrial plant also. But actually what you want to know is or whether it is a living organism plant like that. Similarly, if you take another example and say that I went to bank to see the sunset here. What is this bank here? Whether it is a bank with the cash or whether it is a river bank where you went. Because normally you can searching for a plant. You give in a Google plant itself and search, you will get both industrial plants and living organism plants. But actually, which you want to search, you have to give the query correctly. Otherwise, unnecessary information information is retrieved. Therefore, the query should be given correctly. And based on a context only, you can give the you know, but you want a industrial plant, but you are typed as a plant only. But the Google is very intelligent enough; it classifies and gives this is a plant, industrial plant, and this is a this plant like this. Based on a context, the meaning of the plant is also given there. For that particular information. But it is having a different meanings. All the meanings related to that will be searched by the search engine, and they will be put onto your web page. Therefore, the second bank in the example, the bank is a river bank, or it can more than one meaning for a particular word. This can be avoided by using the semantic net sequence. This is a semantic net. You can draw on a semantic network or a semantic analysis network, we can say, or simply semantic net. Therefore, the bank is an the bank is close to the river, and it is often visited by the people in the society in order to watch the sunset here. See, this is a semantic net of this particular sentence. This is a semantic net of this sentence. Therefore, if you query for this, I went to the bank with the draw money, then automatically particular bank is a bank with a cash where you can withdraw money. Therefore, semantic net is there. It will allow us to interpret. See that polysemy, where one word has having more than one interpretations, different interpretations. Such interpretations network, I can say. Then another issue involved in the information retrieval, where it is a cross-language information retrieval. Suppose you give a query saying that what is the minimum age English language query you are giving, and you are asking the car rental in Italy, some other place. Therefore, you may get the two different documents. One document is all the car rental in English text, as well as you may get the Italian documents also. You will get the two different documents. In general, is relevant to this query, as well as since you are finding the minimum age requirement of a car rental in Italy, therefore you'll get Italian documents also. Okay, since the query you're given, your machine should be intelligent enough, your search engine should be intelligent enough. Again in the English language, irrespective of the total number of documents, it may be getting both the documents, English document as well as an Italian document. Therefore, it internally uses a machine translator, which is translating all the Italian documents to the English documents. Then it combines English documents already existing, and merges this, and will give you the all the documents which are in the English, like English only. Therefore, what is this? The result of the query is also in English. Therefore, we should have a search engines in such that if you are giving you should get the results in Italian only. It means that based on the query input language, the results of the query should be in the same language, because the target or the end user knows only that language. Therefore, the machine should understand that the end user is given and some other language documents. All those documents should be converted into a Tamil language, and they should be added to the Tamil language documents, and the final document should be given to the user in Tamil language only. Such search engine should come in here. Therefore, whatever you prepare and give the document, all those documents will be automatically converted into the target language, and it will combine the target language documents as well as converted into a target language documents. Finally, it will give the end user in the search engines, such search engines. The next is what is the speech machine translator, as I mentioned. that is text to text, English to Hindi, Hindi to text, Hindi to Kannada, speech to speech. Whenever there is a speech to speech machine translator is there, suppose understanding, then this particular speech Hindi will be converted first into a Hindi text by using the automated speech recognizer. Then after that, the machine translator will translate this Hindi text to a Bengali or a English text. Then that Bengali or English a Bengali speech or a English means internally whenever the speech to speech is there, the speech has to be converted into the that particular input language text. Then that input language text to a target language text. Then the target language text to a target language speech like that. Therefore, translators are available if you want to devise any speech to speech translator machine for any of the native languages, whichever the languages they are supported, you can use them. If they are not supported, you have to design a similar speech to speech translators. Disclosure, pragmatics. Therefore, all these analyses need to be done one after the other: lexical, tokens, syntax, which is a structure well formed or not, semantics, interpreting the meaning of a sentence, particular words I can say. If the discourse integration is a universal of discourses, depends upon a context, the meaning can be predictive. The pragmatic is nothing but actual real world knowledge, I can say. What about the knowledge? When you know the knowledge, therefore you can reinterpret what those are the things what you're seeing. And I used to mention that the grammar rules should be used. How the grammar looks like? The grammar rules, we know that I think the context-free grammars we are using. For example, representing the sentences, what are familiar with grammar rules, how to write the grammar rules for your parts of speech language, I can say. See here the sentence, the bird, one word we have taken here. Let us take this is about the grammar. What is an article? Article may be an, I, the, nouns may be these, noun. You take a sentence here, the bird picks the grains. Or the yes, you can draw a syntactic tree for that. Therefore, generally the context-free grammars will write for a sentence followed with the verb phrase. Again, noun phrase is a determinant noun. What I told that mentioned that how to write down a context-free grammar. You should know the domain knowledge of that English grammar. Then only you can write the context-free grammar. Then using this, you can check for an analysis. You can do the sentence, the bird picks the grains is correct or not. Yes, it is syntactically well formed and it is accepted by the context-free grammar. And it is having, if it is having only one parse tree, it means that there is no ambiguity in understanding this particular sentence. One parse trees, then we can say that it is interpreted in a different ways like this. Two different meanings will come. Therefore, that particular is sentence is an ambiguity, we can say. The bird picks the grain. We have got this syntax tree. If there is another syntax, that if there exists another different syntax tree or a parse tree, this is constructed, I think, based on this grammar rules only. That is, sentence is verb noun phrase or verb phrase, noun phrase is determinant noun, verb phrase is verb phrase or noun phrase is determinant are nothing but the words in the languages. Okay, we can use these context-free grammars. Suppose if you change the another sentence like this, see, the grains pick the bird. The earlier sentence was what? The bird picks the pick the bird. This is okay. This but the meaning of the sentence is wrong. Correct? The bird picks the grains. Okay, fine. Picks the grains is correct. With their beak, they will eat the grains. Whereas if you use this sentence, the grain is not a bird here, therefore it cannot pick the bird here. The grains cannot eat the bird, correct? Therefore, this is a wrong way. It's interpretation, but often it seems syntactically correct, but meaning is wrong. Meaning went wrong there. The meaning is meaning of that interpretation is the passing techniques. I think in a compiler design course, we have seen the different passing techniques. Top-down parsers, bottom-up parsers can be used in order, or recursive descent parsers. They can be applied, I can say, in order to interpret the meanings of the sentences. Today's session. Over to you, madam. Hello. Hello.
Thank you so much, sir, for this session.
You can ask me so that I will clarify.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this session. Dean, ma'am, please take over this session, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Hello, Devraj sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. You gave a detailed explanation on artificial intelligence and especially the natural language processing. I request the session. I would like to thank Sir Devraj sir for a detailed explanation. He also narrated on the top 10 business intelligence AI trends. Sir explained importance, why NLP is important and issues in syntax. Explained the party tree of the entire topic. On behalf of participants, I thank you. On behalf of organizers and Sanskriti School of Engineering, we really extend our heartfelt thanks to you. I really hope participants had a good learning experience. Thank you so much, sir. And I thank all session. We have a very interesting speaker in the afternoon from Austria. He's joining us. So please be available at 2 o'clock, 5 minutes prior to that. Thank you all. Thank you especially Devraj sir. Thank you for your session.